Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope that you are doing good. It's festive magpie today. I'm in my Christmas jumper. Is it because it's one of my only clean jumpers? Yes, that's beside the point. Hello and welcome to another tag video. I am doing the 5 tarot decks challenge today. I saw this on Marine's channel, Marine at Waves of Your Soul, who did a video going through this challenge tag, and this is a tag that was adapted from BookTube by A Ripple in Time. I will link everybody and their videos below. Basically, it's 5 questions, picking 5 decks. It's a bit of a reflection on the year. I'm doing lots of these at the moment. I feel like I'm doing a lot of tags because there's a lot of like end of year reflection on the year, kind of 2023 wrap-up stuff coming. I love this. I hope you're enjoying it too. But that's what this tag is. So I'm going to get straight into it. Alright, so prompt number 1 is show us the tarot deck you're currently using. And that one is the Voyager... Oh! It's the Voyager Tarot. And I've mentioned this previously in a video recently, so maybe I should have... Have I mentioned this in a video recently? No, I showed my journal in a video recently. Anyway, this is the deck that I'm using during Sagittarius season. It is my daily pull deck for Sagittarius season. I'm pulling a card, I'm having a look at the guidebook, which I have at the bottom of this haphazard pile. So I'm pulling a card every day, and then I am looking at the entry in the guidebook and writing a couple notes on it. Shall I show you my journal? Let's show you my journal. No, I'm not going to do that because my journal is far away. You can go to the other video if you want to have a look at my journal. It was the Tarot Habits tag that I did that I'm not sure when everything's going up because I'm trying to pre-film some stuff, but it's already up. I talk about my tarot journal in one of the prompts for that tag. But yeah, this is my deck that I'm currently using. I could have gone with a different deck that I'm using this week, but this seemed more appropriate because this is a little bit more like intentionally used at the moment because I have like a bit of a study practice going with it. So alright, prompt number 2, show us your last 5-star tarot deck. This is where you can tell this tag has been adapted from BookTube. That's not how I consider my tarot decks, but I was thinking what a 5-star deck might look like, and what I've landed on is the Goddess of Love Tarot, which is stuck in her bag. There we go. So this is my 5-star deck of the moment. This is the Goddess of Love Tarot. I just, like, this is beautiful. I fell in love with this deck so hard. I think the artwork is gorgeous. I think it's evocative enough of the Rider-Waite Smith that I find I can read it easily, but it's also very much doing its own thing. It's got its own art style, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I also really like the guidebook, which was the other reason I decided this was probably a 5-star deck, because I love the cards, I love the artwork, I love the book it comes with. Again, the meanings, first of all, it's like pink printing, is beautiful. The meanings are all pretty consistent with the Rider-Waite Smith, but the focus of this deck is on love and sex magic, and that comes through really strongly throughout, like in all of the card descriptions. In the majors, there's also a ritual for each card. Like, it's been really well thought out, and that focus of this deck comes through really strongly without feeling like a gimmick or like an afterthought. Like, it's very intentional, and I really appreciate that. Like, it feels like it was a very purposefully created deck, which I really enjoy. And I have a cat shouting at me, so I will return in a moment. I think that's probably all I really had to say about this one. I feel like I haven't used this as much as I've wanted to. I've just had so many decks come in since I got this, which was the end of September. So the past couple months have just been very, very new deck heavy, which I need to slow down on because I am starting to feel like I don't have enough time to appreciate all the decks that I've got. So anyway, I love this. I love this tarot. Like, I just think it's gorgeous and it works so well. And like, it's so on theme. Like, you can tell with all the pink, all the roses, all the more pink. Like, it's really lent into the theming of the deck, and I just really appreciate that. I think it really, really works. Yeah, I love it. 5 stars. I still want to trim this. I want to like micro trim the red borders down just like a little bit, because it's also a little bit too big, and I think that will just like perfect it. It'll make the size just right. And I think the red is like a little bit much. It's a little bit overwhelming. Right, prompt number 3, show us a tarot deck you keep putting off using and you need help making yourself use it. It's the Herbcrafters. Oh, we've had a collapse. Yeah, this one is the Herbcrafters Tarot for me. So I try not to have decks in my collection that I'm not using. There are the chosen few that exist in my collection for like collection purposes. I did a video about this. This card is beautiful. For the most part, I want to be using my decks. Like, I mean, I've just said I have more decks than I can be using all of them all the time. Like, that's just not realistic. But I want to feel comfortable enough with all of my decks that I could pick any of them up and just use them. And I realized that the Herbcrafters is a bit of an exception to that. Like, there's something about this that's like intimidating almost. Like, I'm a bit afraid, not afraid to use it. Like, I'm not scared of it. It's not a scary deck, but I'm reluctant to use it because I don't feel easy breezy comfortable with the symbolism, with all the meanings. This is definitely one where I would have to go to the guidebook for every single card and really spend some time thinking about it. And then there's also this like lovely crafting with each of the cards, and like I feel like this could be a whole practice, and that's also weirdly intimidating. And like, I don't need to. I could just use this, I could pull the cards, I could ignore this crafting with the 7 of Earth. I don't have to incorporate that or think about that. I could just be using it for like 2 and 3 card readings, pull the guidebook to get the meaning, go from there. But because I'm like, oh, this deck could be so much, and I know for a lot of people it is part of this like bigger practice, I feel like I should be doing all of that, which is you know, an unrealistic, unnecessary pressure to put on this deck and myself. So anyhow, it is stunning. It is really beautiful. And there's something very like, I feel very comforted by the artwork. I feel very there's a word that isn't comforted that I can't think of, but I just feel very like the artwork makes my brain quiet, which is a feat in and of itself. So I really should lean into it and just use the deck. But hey, yeah, the Herbcrafters was my long and rambly answer to that question. A deck that I keep putting off using. If that was you, if you've used this deck and after feeling weirdly intimidated to use it, let me know what got you over the hump of using it. I think also because I'm in the UK, and this is, I forget where the creators are from, but it's somewhere in the Americas. Anyway, my point being that a lot of these plants are plants I'm not familiar with. Some of them might have like different names than I'm familiar with, and there's just like a little bit of extra. I think this is so sweet. There's a little bit of extra disconnect almost there because they're not, well, like some of them are. Like I've gone blackberry picking every year that I can remember being alive, but yeah, there's like just like an extra weird mental barrier in place because I'm like, oh, but I don't know what half of these plants are or when in the year they show up and things like that because they're not native to where I live. But anyway, I am truly rambling at this point. So yeah, that's the Herbcrafters. I want to get in there. Like I want to like dive into it. It's so beautiful. Like I know what apples are. I know what ginger is. I don't know if I know. Okay, like maybe I am being a bit melodramatic. Like plantains, not something that grows here. I feel like this would also be a good deck for path working because it's just like a place in nature, and I can imagine these scenes fairly easily. Like alfalfa, I don't know if that's a thing that we call alfalfa here. Anyway, okay. Oh, and these backs are just, I love these backs. I think they're beautiful. All right, prompt number 4 is show a tarot deck you feel is very underrated on tarottube. And I struggled with this because I feel like I get most of my deck recommendations from tarottube, so they are more often than not ones that I've seen around and about on YouTube. So I want to say Fournier decks in general. I guess, I don't know, I feel like I don't see Fournier decks around as much as other mass market decks, and I think they're so good. Like I'm going to show you Del Fuego because I love this and I talk about this all the time. I think that they're just such good mass market decks. Like we love a tuck box and the size is really nice. Like they're not too big. The cardstock, I have 3. I have the Tarot del Fuego, the Tarot de Carlotydes, and the Tarot de el Dios de los Tres. The cardstock is really nice on all of them. They shuffle really well. They're a really good little size. They're also really like affordable, especially compared to a lot of mass market decks that are coming out with these like bigger boxes and bigger guidebooks and really getting up there in price. I have bought all of these for, I want to say max I would have spent would be £15 on one of these. The prices fluctuate quite a bit, but they're really affordable. And like the 3 that I've got, at least, they all have, oh, maybe I should have shown you a different one because I feel like I'm always showing this, but they've all got so much like character. And I don't know how old these are. Maybe they're all a bit older and that's why people don't really talk about them so much. But like this, I think this is such a rich deck. It's got so much personality and a very like distinct aesthetic, which is true of all of the ones I have. Like I'm just gonna show them all off. Ugh, the pink though, like tarottube loves a distinct aesthetic. Tarottube loves yummy cardstock. This one is more of a pip deck, but it's like really expressive pips. And there's just so much to dive into in all the different symbols that are in the cards. Like, why do I not see Fournier decks around and about all the time? Let's see. Del Fuego, is saying 2021. This one is saying 2020, and then I also have the Tarot de Carlotydes, and I've definitely seen this on tarottube. This one has such pretty backs too, and like the inside of the box, like they're really nice. When did you come about? This one is also saying 2021, so none of them are old, like they're not brand new. They've been out for a couple of years, but like, and this one is so cute and whimsical. And like, I don't know, I just feel like Fournier decks deserve, I don't know. I feel like I should see them more, and I just don't. And I'm surprised that I don't, because none of them are boring. Like, let's look what I have here. None of these are boring decks. And like, come on. So yeah, I think as a mass market publisher, Fournier decks deserve a bit more fuss and are a bit underrated. The guidebooks are crap. Well, it's a little white book situation. So that's maybe the only like negative. They're maybe not very beginner friendly, especially because they take a lot of liberties from traditional artwork. Well, that's a very traditional world, but like, you know. But that aside, I think they're gorgeous. Pink, I need to do a hot pink edging to this one because I simply must. But I don't want to trim it, but then I'm going to lose this border. It might be too aggressive if I trim it, actually. I think it'll be too loud. I just kind of hate a white border. If I had a black border, I'd be happier. Anyway, I love all the skulls and the butterflies and the hot pink. Like, this was made for me. Gorgeous. All right, final prompt number 5. Show a tarot deck you think everyone should have. I really struggled with this because I don't know, I'm just very aware that you're never going to please everybody and that everybody comes to tarot for like different things. So I kind of cheated, and I'm just going to say, assuming you're a Rider-Waite Smith reader, I think you should have a tarot collectibles deck in your collection. Once again, I'm going with like a brand and not a single deck. So this one is the Psychedelic Space Tarot. So assuming you are a Rider-Waite Smith reader, I don't think there is any one deck that is going to work for everybody, but if you read Rider-Waite Smith, I think you should have a fun Rider-Waite Smith clone. This one is all space themed. It's a redraw of the Rider-Waite Smith. Like, look, we have our little dog in our 10 of Pentacles. He's in a space helmet. We have our Knight of Pentacles on his weird alien horse. I love this human alien 10 of Cups. Like, it's a Rider-Waite Smith, but it's a fun clone. This one also is UV reactive colors, which I think is really cool. I love the space theme. Like, it's fun. It's fun, and if you read Rider-Waite Smith, you should have a fun clone. These are really good for if I'm, like, say I have a friend over and they want a reading, but they don't know tarot. I'm also going to show you the Winter Waite Redux because it's seasonally appropriate. But these are good for people who like don't know tarot, maybe are a little bit intimidated about it, but it's like recognizable imagery, but it's cute, it's fun. This one is also super sparkly, which we love. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of the decks. These are only 2. I need to calm down. I have the, oh god, I don't want to count. But like it's just a fun wintry deck, and it is the classic Rider-Waite Smith like poses, so they're also really easy to read. Just like hot chocolate and the Ace of Cups. Beautiful star. I love the little like plaits in the horse's mane in this Knight of Cups. But yeah, that's about it. If you read Rider-Waite Smith, I think you should have a fun Rider-Waite Smith clone. I love that we have the melting snow for the Ten of Swords, like the end of winter. Like that's a, you know, that's like a nice take. It's like a not scary take. So, yes. Do I have anything else to say about this? No. I got too down the like rabbit hole of taking this question too seriously. Of like, oh, but like I say, like everybody comes to tarot for different things, and there's no one deck that's going to suit everybody, and I can't assume that like people read the way I do and blah 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 blah. So I ended up taking it not at all seriously, and just going with a fun clone. If you're a Thoth-based reader, I don't know, sorry, I don't know if fun Thoth-based clones exist. They should. Ooh. If that's not a thing, that should be a thing. And if it is a thing, tell me what fun Thoth clones exist. Can you even like really call a Thoth clone a Thoth clone? Because I feel like, I don't know, everyone gets very, very specific about Thoth colours and symbols and things, so I don't know if you could do a fun clone and not have people complain that it takes away all the meaning. But like you've got the squid cake for like a fun Marseille, you know? Anyway. Okay, I am just flicking through this deck at this point. So, a fun Rider-Waite-Smith clone is a deck that I think every Rider-Waite-Smith reader should have. And specifically Tarot Collectibles, because I think they do a really good job. They're a small UK-based, for once, UK-based indie company. They've been putting out like a couple decks a year. They come up with some really nice decks, and they are like solid Rider-Waite-Smith clones. They don't take, like this one is a bit more of a variation, the space deck, but like for the most part the line work in this is really similar, and they've just altered elements, like, you know, we've got a snowman in here and things like that. So yeah. Okay, that is everything I had to say for this 5 tarot decks challenge tag response video. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you've done this or are going to do this, because I think this is really fun. I believe that there's also an oracle version. Maybe I should do that as well. Let me know. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you to Riffle in Time for coming up with the tag, and to Marine for doing a response, which is how I found out about it. Yeah, let me know what you think. Give me a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.